Okay, so let's talk about the ending of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So we also will talk about the post-credit scene. That video probably is up, so if you want to just go check that out, go check it out. But I want to talk about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever ending. But before we can get to that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hitting that notification bell. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We just hit 25,000. We did a giveaway, and at 30,000, we're doing another giveaway. So make sure you are subscribing and liking the videos to know how to enter. But let's talk about the ending. So before we can get to any ending, we definitely have to talk about the beginning and the middle, of course. So we're going to briefly recap here, so let's get into it. So we see that T'Challa has died due to disease, and we see that Shuri was trying to sort of have him like be alive and sort of create something to keep him alive. And although she does fail in it, it sort of follows her throughout the movie as she could have done more, and it sort of is this sort of like remorse that she's feeling towards his death, even though everybody tries to explain that there was nothing you could do, all of this, and it's still something that lingers in her. During all of this, however, we also have the worlds trying to take vibranium from Wakanda or wherever they can find it, and this is something that Queen Ramonda is very much so adamantly against, because this is the world who is all trying to sort of like topple onto Wakanda and take them down, take away their resources, and she's not having it at all. We then find out that there is another nation that does have vibranium, and now the world is sort of itching in towards them, and that is Talokan, which we see is Namor's home. And Namor is now knowing that this is because there is a scientist in the United States who has created a machine where they're able to find vibranium, and it is being used by the United States. And so he's kind of like going to Wakanda like, hey, let's join alliances. These people are trying to take our vibranium. They're trying to get to you. If they get to you, they'll get to us. They'll find us and all this. So let's just join forces and pretty much squash this. Ramonda and Shuri are against this, and they pretty much are just like, no, we're not going to do any of this. You got it all wrong. And he's just like, fine, bring me the scientists who did this so I can kill them, because I am pissed about everything that's going on. And then maybe we can form some sort of alliance of sorts. But if you don't bring me the scientists and all that, I might just have to go ahead and attack Wakanda. So ultimately, we have Shuri and Okoye being sent out to find Riri Williams, which they are able to do, but then they get ambushed by the Talokan people, and we have a big fight going on, and eventually we see Shuri and Riri get taken back to Talokan with Namor, and he's just pretty much like, hey, we can be friends, we can do all of this, be this alliance of sorts. We have Ramonda, who sends out Nakia to save Shuri as well, and during all of this, we actually see Ramonda die due to the hands of the Talokan people and Namor. This sort of infuriates Shuri for everything that happened, and she uses one of the bracelets that Namor actually has given to her while she was in Talokan to be able to craft a new flower that she uses to become the new Black Panther. And then she goes to war with the Talokan people and Wakanda people as well all together. M'Baku is in there, everybody's in there, and the Talokan are kind of like getting the hand over them. One thing to note as well before Shuri became the Black Panther is when she went to the ancestral plane, she didn't come face to face with her mother as she thought. She actually came face to face with Killmonger, who sort of puts her on this path of destruction, revenge, and just feeling like ego, and sort of has her feeling like she has to kill Namor, and she has to do this is the only way to get any sort of like redemption and avenge her mother and everything that's happened. And we see her almost do this at a point, almost killing Namor, but then she sees her mother Ramonda, who says there's a better way, and we ultimately see the alliance form between Namor and also Shuri, the Wakandans, and Talokans, as they sort of see themselves as somebody who can be there for you if anything ever like goes left or out of field. They will be there because they are the only ones that can understand each other, as they both have their civilization built on vibranium. And so that's pretty much what we see happen at the end of this movie, is that we have Shuri now as the Black Panther, but decides not to become the queen of Wakanda because they don't feel they have the wisdom and can't really lead the nation as they think they should be led. And so that way we have M'Baku, who takes over and is now the king of Wakanda, while Shuri is the new Black Panther. And of course, at the end credit scene, we actually see Nakia introduce Shuri to her son and T'Challa's son, T'Challa Jr. So we'll talk about that in the post-credit scene video, so make sure you go check that out over there. But I think it's interesting also that we had Namor sort of come out as a mutant in here. As he says, he sort of mutated into being able to breathe both underwater and in the surface. So I think that's interesting that we're starting to get this mutant talk a lot more, as we've got it over in other movies and TV shows already. And Namor being a mutant is definitely interesting as well. We saw this pure brutality of Namor as well, and his strength is very much so on top, and I think he could definitely go toe to toe with a lot of the MCU heroes. Overall, like I said, I think the movie does a good job at expanding the world and really world building for the future. I think Shuri being the new Black Panther will be an interesting choice when it comes to seeing them on the big screen. T'Challa Jr. being introduced as well is going to be something of a tricky situation of how they sort of get him into the fights, as he still is a kid, but I talk more about that in the post-credit scene explained video, so go check that out now if you haven't. But overall, like I said, this movie does do a lot. It really builds that world out, and it really shows us the stages that people go through as well with grief and all of that, especially at the end when you have Shuri finally being able to burn the garments that she wore during T'Challa's funeral, which was a big thing for her throughout the whole movie, and sort of sees her growth and sort of trying to continue on the legacy of T'Challa on forth. And I think it's a great one. I think the whole thing with Killmonger as well being presented in the ancestral plane for Shuri, who was feeling this anger and resentment towards Namor, the Talokans, and everybody else, was a good way to really show all the bottled up emotions that she had been holding on just finally bursting, and she was able to sort of get a hand of it at the end, but it was sort of almost getting a grip on her herself. So overall, really great stuff here, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige are currently working on Black Panther 3, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing the Black Panther in the upcoming Secret Wars movies, as well as Kang Dynasty. So super excited for that. But anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. What did you think about Black Panther Wakanda Forever? What was your favorite part of it all? Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell. Like I said, we are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. At 30,000, we will do a giveaway, so don't miss out on that. We did win at 25,000, and we do have some videos out right now for Terrifier 2, as well as Vaccine, and also Nightcrawler. We are going back to older movies and older videos I've done and doing some videos on them, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about and I missed it, so I do definitely want to go back to it, so stay tuned for that. But as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe. But as always, that's going to do it for me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We are so close to 26,000. Once we get to 30,000, we will do a giveaway. Make sure you don't miss out on that. But also make sure that you are also hitting that notification bell. We got a ton of videos coming this weekend. We have a ton of movies to talk about. Check out all our other videos we've done, going back on some of the older movies we talked about, as well as some other movies that are older that we haven't talked about that we will definitely be talking about. We're trying to get as many things on the channel before the end of the year, and we're trying to get to 50,000, so follow us there. As always, stay safe, stay positive.